Hey everyone, my name is Floria. Welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. Either way, it's good to see you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about ghost gadgets. Now, you guys watched last week's, and this week we're going to do the part 2. I'm filming this right now as an intro. I'm still editing it, but there's like 3 hours of footage, so it's possible that I even turn this into like a 3-part series. We'll see. But I am going to be talking a lot about Twin Paranormal in this one and comparing what they do with the gadgets, because sort of what I'm doing with this little gadget series is I'm talking more towards, are channels faking it on purpose to make their videos look good, or are they just ignorant to how the devices work and how to set them up properly without getting false positives, right? I think it's a little bit of both, but I think that there's a lot more channels that fake stuff and know how to mess with the devices most of all. And honestly, I see it a lot in Twin Paranormal. And so I'm going to be using them as a comparison for the rest of these devices for the most part. I might touch on some different channels here and there as well. But this is enough for the intro. Let's dive into the next part of this series. And just a reminder, last week on Ghost Gadgets, here's where we left off. So we're going to pop into Twin Paranormal stuff next. Just to get you primed, here's a small little things about the music box with them.
I like how the music box went off just once.
We don't see them do the setup of the music box in this one, but he says, oh, the music box went off just once. Like, we didn't hear it at all. Talks about walking sounds. We didn't hear those. Even still, they have their whole crew with them. Yes, I said their crew. I'll explain that in a second.
We are Twin Paranormal.
All right, now let's take a look at the dreaded Twin Paranormal.
The night a demon possessed me. Surviving 48 hours.
I used to watch Twin Paranormal a long time ago. I enjoyed their videos. They used to be a little bit more calmer. They were they were less yelling at the camera, which is why I like watching ones who don't yell at the camera. So like Amy's Crypt, Twin Paranormal, different like teams that don't yell at the camera. Twin Paranormal now yells at the camera. But I always found it odd that Twin Paranormal always got every gadget was working. Every gadget gave a response. Every app worked. Everything was constantly responding and working. And that seemed very odd to me. And that's when I started looking into some of the gadgets and stuff. And that's when I found like debunks from people. This is when I've been starting to notice more things about Twin Paranormal. I'm using them as an example in this video today because they fake a lot of stuff. And if you want to understand how some of these gadgets can be utilized to fake results to make your videos look good, they are the best example to kind of go through multiple things, because I'm going to go through some apps, some gadgets, things like that. That is why I've chosen them today. And I know their stuff. To start, we're going to do like the Spirit Talkie Talk apps and devices. But before we get into the details of that, just a couple things I want to say about Twin Paranormal. A lot of you guys don't know this. A lot of people don't know this, but Andrew Stomark told me that a location owner reached out to him and explained that the twins, they don't travel alone. They travel with their entire posse. And when they do an investigation, their whole crew is in there with them. Like, they have tons of people with them. So if you're ever watching their stuff, just remember that they're not alone. And if you hear like branches break or some like knock happen or something like that, they never go running towards it because it's probably one of their crew members, right? So just remember that when you hear that stuff happening. If it's off screen, it's probably fake. Like Twin Paranormal now, they fake the worst out of all the channels, to be honest. I think that they learned how to fake that REM pod responses, which we'll get to. And then they figured out how to add words to the app, which I'll get to as well. And once they figured that out and figure out how to fake stuff with that, then they've just gone crazy with it, to be honest. And yeah, I know they have like angry fans. I'm actually gonna probably throw them in my thumbnail just to test a parasocial test to see how many angry comments I get of people who don't watch my video and leave a comment. So I'm trying to find this video for you guys and I can't find it. If anyone remembers this one, let me know. Essentially, they were driving out to a desert area and I thought it was like, you know, a skinwalker thing or something. They're driving up to the desert area and Ryan like stuck his head out of a truck or something and he was like, I love my job or some crap like that. But the drone picked up multiple vehicles and I wanted to show you guys that to show that there's like other people that are traveling with them. And that's like the only time that I remember seeing that. It was back when I watched them. So like, I don't know, this could have been like a year and a half ago or something, a year ago. Even I was watching them like even a year ago, trying to figure out why their REM pod goes off all the time. And then I ended up seeing Kenny's debunk of the REM pod, and then I understood that too. So I was trying to understand all this equipment and why they were getting results when other teams weren't. And that's sort of what kind of started me in on it. And then they started getting like kind of loud and the dude bro thing. And then I was just kind of turned off of them. So, but if anyone remembers that video, let me know. Link it or, you know, let me know which video it is or whatever. Link it to me. Yeah, I'm looking for that one. The video, it came to mind when Andrew mentioned that to me because I remember like they were in the middle of nowhere and they were all like driving SUVs and there was like at least one or two SUVs following behind them and it looked like they were in a convoy. Like it looked like they were following one another. So that's what kind of stuck in my head. But I remember Ryan like stuck his head out of like the sunroof or something. Like he stood up out of the sunroof. I went back and tried to look again. I think I maybe was watching a different account, but in looking, like I was watching them like it says like 3 or 4 years ago or something on my one account. I have multiple YouTube accounts, but I do think I was watching them that far back. So this video I'm thinking of could be a while back or it could be not that long ago. I don't remember. Also, I'm aware, I know saying this word is offensive and everything and like not good luck and stuff, like, or not good luck, but like cursed, I guess. Or I know there's a whole thing with it and I apologize for the times I've said it as well. And for any other times I say it again in this video because I just don't realize that I'm saying it. I don't think that they should be doing it so much, but they do it for the algorithm and the clicks, you can tell. Also, I do recommend if you are wanting to kind of track Twin Paranormal, they say some wild stuff on Twitter, on their personal Twitters too sometimes, especially when like a debunker comes at them. They'll say stuff on Twitter, but not on YouTube itself, I've noticed. So it's interesting to keep track of what they're doing on Twitter. They say some like out of pocket stuff sometimes. Ryan, really specifically more Ryan than any of them. He does some weird tweets sometimes where he kind of like talks about wanting to be famous and all this stuff. Like I've seen some weird tweets and this goes back over like even a year ago. When did Andrew Stone Rock get attacked by the Twin Paranormal people? Because they complained on Twitter. The twins complained on Twitter. I remember seeing it. I just wonder if they removed it, and I can't remember when that was. Okay, 7 months ago. Oh yeah, then their TikTok got hacked. I remember that. Yeah, their TikTok got hacked. Their house got broken into. They've been dealing with a lot of like shitty things in the last like year or something too. I feel for them for that for sure. And then he does a lot of tweets like these all the time too, which I feel like you gotta be careful with opening up too much because people get like really parasocial, and I've noticed that as well with some of these audiences. So, and when I say you gotta be careful with parasocial, it's not about connecting with your audience or anything like that. It's about the people that are a little bit off and they will go out of their way to like hurt someone on your behalf. And it's things like that that you got to be really careful of. And some of the stuff I see Ryan tweet a lot, it borders on that moment of like someone wanting to, you know, take matters into their own hand to help their favorite star. It's tweets like this too. Like, I know he's dealing with something, okay, and he's like, unfortunately, if we take a break, YouTube pushes us down even further. And then their following starts tweeting at YouTube. It's just the algorithm. YouTube isn't picking on them specifically. I know they know that, but their fans don't understand it. Also, can I just add that you're lucky to be a YouTuber and have this as a job. Most people don't get this chance, and you're always complaining on Twitter about it, Ryan. Like, figure your life out, man. You're lucky to be successful on YouTube. Not everyone achieves it. You want to be careful not to encourage your audience, like not to, what's the word, like weaponize them, you know? And encouraging the behavior that they did to Andrew is not cool to a small channel. Because at the time, Andrew was like very small channel. So like, why did people care so much, you know? Like, seriously. I think they removed it. It was kind of I saw the tweet and I was like, damn. The way they worded it was something like, people just don't understand us and we appreciate everyone sticking up for us, but they like didn't stick up. They like attacked Andrew's channel. Yes, sometimes I go through the effort of digging this far back in social media. Here's some of it. Yeah, people hating when they don't know who we are. You commented on that fan's tweet saying people hating when they don't know who we are. That is what sent other creators into calling you out. You should have told that fan that she was wrong and to stop bullying other creators. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. He removed it. I think he removed it. Yeah, this was the problem, right? He's like, I can't control everyone. It's like, no, the way that you worded it, man, it is the problem here. Let's see if this guy, it was this. Yeah, it was over the top. You're making fun of someone. It doesn't matter anymore. You say you didn't. I'll leave it at that. All my family's talk. Definitely wasn't making fun of anyone. That's not me. Never has been. What's the original post? The original post was deleted. 2 days after one of the debunkers put out a video, in the intro of your video, you were saying something about it in really bad fake Southern accent. Purple. Oh, it was a purple thing. I never did that. Da, 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 da. It was over the top. You're making fun of someone. Doesn't matter. Okay, and I just realized that this particular person is talking about what they did to Purple back in the day. And this isn't even what they did to Andrew. Like, this stuff has been going on for a while. And that person's saying that they also engage their audience through Twitter as well. This is concerning. People are following this type of person and they're going to bat for them and they're encouraging this behavior. Purple, if you guys aren't aware, was a debunker and was harassed so much that he almost left YouTube, but then he ended up changing his channel to, I believe, just video gaming. So like they hit him really hard and maybe they didn't realize that they were doing this, that they were engaging their audience to do this kind of stuff, to go after people for them, but they should learn from this mistake. And it sounds like they did this with Purple and they did it with Andrew again. So I'm not really confident that they've learned from their mistakes, but I just don't think that they are that oblivious to understanding how their audience attacks people on their behalf. I don't know. That's my opinion. Whatever. It's very concerning and very telling of what type of person you really are. Yeah, like they got hit pretty hard for what they did with what they did to Andrew, because they kind of did weaponize their audience, but they do it on Twitter. They're sneaky, right? They do it on Twitter. I've seen it. I've watched it for like the last 2 years with them, 3 years even. Like I've seen their Twitter like turn into this sort of weird thing. Just be done with it. Block said, person or people, be done with it. Dramas for school. Yeah. I wish it were that easy. No, you can just let it go. There's people that leave like hate comments in my comments here, and I'm sure someone will eventually make a video or something to complain about me. Just let it go. You just don't engage with it. That's it. It was a reply to somebody. That's why it just happened to see it on my feed, and I was like, ooh. And it looks like he removed it. You can see a couple left over, but he removed a lot of it. Also this, YouTube, why are you suggesting our videos to people that have nothing to do with ghost hunting content? This is very weird. Because it's dependent on the viewer. Like I watch stuff that's not ghost hunting content, but if like a ghost hunting channel or debunker releases a new video, it will suggest it at the end of the video. Also, like Selena, that's ghost hunting. Lee is ghost hunting. Crumble Conspiracy. Yeah, there's people watching, like, I know the channels are watching. It's stuff that I watch. I watch the stupid petty drama bullshit to reset my brain, and that's why it suggests it. I don't know why they don't understand the algorithm on that one. So oh, see, they were calling it a movie in October. They are just making movies. They're being slightly honest in this moment with their tweets. They call these things movies, which it makes me wonder like how much editing and scripting goes in as well, you know? Anyways, I know that's a side tangent, but it's something that I've wanted to point out about them because I never really had a whole lot on Twin Paranormal to like be like, oh, I want to do a whole video, but now it's like accumulated over the last couple of years. So why am I showing you this stuff and talking about this stuff about the twins? Well, this goes back to my original thought behind the series, the links that people will go to fake content because it makes them money. And I think showing things like this as well kind of gets you in the mind of some of these creators and can maybe help judge whether or not you think that they would fake something or whether they are sincerely believing and maybe they don't understand how the equipment works. So let's get into our next gadget. We're going to take a look at all the boxes and apps and stuff that say words to you.
Yes.
Now, next, I wanted to touch back again on the Alice box, but the new one, because Selena had the new one that she was using in that video. I briefly touched on it, but I didn't actually go into detail about why it was important that I pointed that out to you guys. For those of you that are new to some AI stuff, I wanted to explain the issue with what it's doing. The Alice box, the new one, is supposed to be this DNA thing. A very long time in development using wide-ranging programmer skill sets, the specialized areas of natural language programming and artificial intelligence. Yeah, as the programmed circuitry and code is influenced, okay, it's the new box. All right, this is the one that Selena was using. The new box is based on this Alice DNA. This website explains that the Alice DNA has taken all the information from the Alice app and the Windows software for Alice and has taken it and like built it into this box, essentially. The Alice box takes all the unique algorithms and routines used by the software version developed over several years and runs within its own enclosure, blah, blah, blah. Specialized in areas of natural language programming and artificial intelligence. Her internal dictionary has been duplicated from the original version of Alice, hence the name, the Alice DNA. Takes all the unique algorithms and routines used by the popular software versions of Alice, developed over several years, runs it within its own enclosure. So essentially they've taken all the data that they've collected off of people and they put it in this box. Now, the thing about this one too, Alice uses natural language programming and artificial intelligence. This is the key thing here. Natural language programming, it processes, analyzes, and generates text and speech based on what it's getting from the person or the feedback. It says that it uses natural language programming as well as AI. So it's two different things that's happening here. This is how they make chatbots, all right? This is how they do, machine translation. That's like a programming language thing. But this is mainly like how they use chatbots, how search engines work, right? Customer support, things like that. So that's what natural language processing does. Now you introduce AI nowadays. The thing is, I honest to God feel like these devices, these apps and all that, they are listening through the microphone and they're using natural language processing, which is a tool in programming to allow a user to interact with computer software and then it responds back based on the interactions we're having. Natural language programming along with AI equals a chatbot, and that's back and forth communication. So this box is just spitting out words and there is no back and forth between you and the box, then why does it need these things? These devices are listening, and I think now because AI is so powerful and now you have these new boxes showing up, I think they have a microphone, I think they have a database of words, and they have a set of routines that it's given that it created from the Windows software and the phone app, which is able to collect way more data. And it's been able to sort of gauge how to respond in a paranormal investigation. Because we always ask the same questions, right? Are you here? What's your name? How old are you? Things like that. And I think that these boxes are getting designed, just like the apps are being designed in a way to listen and then respond in certain ways that we would enjoy, that would be helpful, or that would be some sort of positive reinforcement that these hundreds of dollars of devices are worth the money, because they need to keep selling these things. This is their business. So if the thing spits out things like that would match towards your investigation, and it knows this now because it's learned it from the app on the phone that everyone uses and from the Windows software that everyone uses. These boxes, even these standalone boxes, I always thought like the original ones were like a little bit less, like they're a little bit more random. And I always kind of was like, I'll take the original boxes like more seriously, like the original Ovulus or the original Alice when it was first released, because I didn't think that those AI wasn't huge yet. And those things just were really dictionary devices. So it's like, okay, it's more of a chance that, it's not programmed to pay attention to the environment or the situation going on and provide responses. But I think you're going to see when people start showing up with these new devices, we're going to see even better communication through these devices because they're designing them with AI and natural language learning. And I do think that they are listening. I think that there is microphones in these devices because the spy camera stuff, stuff and the microphones, spy microphones, you can hide it within this box. Easy, 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 right? It does not take much power to power a microphone. It does not take up really any room. And just to add, you can have a speaker and a microphone like sort of built into one, and they just have two different kinds of wires that come off of it. And it's just about how you hook it up. So like the speaker itself that's speaking could also be said microphone. And it's just about the wiring onto the board. I would like to see someone take apart the box, not the people that own this fucking company. Someone random buys the box. This company doesn't know they're buying it for that purpose, and take it apart and see if there's any listening devices in it. It's not just the Alice box. There's an Ovilus too. I don't know if the Ovilus has a new version. Let's see. Legendary Ovilus returns, unleashing words from beyond. New protective case, new red faceplate, new molded rugged enclosure, no more 3D printing. See, I'm curious because now you created a new case that would also leave some room for a microphone too, right? Like you could set up for a microphone in there. Let's see. What does it do? Dictionary, draw mode, energy mode, phonetic mode. The device works by scanning through environmental readings and correlates those lists of words and phrases and more. Also, a ghost can't make this. Like, how do they go watch the TV show Ghosts? I honestly love the lore that they do, but a ghost would not be able to just get inside this and figure out how to make a certain word pop up. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. Our own language, if you will, long-standing formula. Okay, Ovilus has been teaching spirits what activity produces what words for almost 2 decades now. Teaching spirits, okay. Blah, blah, blah. How do you work? How does the software work is what I'm asking. Select one of 2,000 predefined words. And like the Alice box, I think they said it's like up to 4,000 words or something. Words and phrases or something they said. I don't know. So they don't really explain how their software works specifically. Don't trust these devices is my point. Now I want to touch on the phone app specifically, and I want to point some stuff out to you guys about some channels that are faking it. Okay, I wanted to look at the Necrometer. So I just wanted to point out, you can custom word list, you can add your own words and phrases. Somebody said, or some people were saying that they updated the app so that you can't do this anymore, but it's on their website and everything. I think you can still do it. And as well, you can see that it's also in here. You can add your own words and phrases. The thing is, it's Necrometer, and there's another one as well, like Spirit Talk or something like that, where like at the beginning you could add your own words and phrases, right? And then I've heard, or everyone has said, that they've like patched the app since all that, because a lot of debunkers came out and said, well, you can just add your own stuff to make it match your narrative. So then they like patched the app so that you couldn't add your own stuff anymore. But people have been hanging onto the app and not updating it. So it's the old version so they can keep adding their own stuff for their narrative. Now, we're going to take a look at, this was 2023 when they first released this app, and this is their video on like how the app works. And I just want to point out some features of it and I want to point out some things about it. All right, let's take a listen.
You'll see the meter here, obviously. This uses the magnetometer sensor of your phone, and it can be used to detect magnetic energy fields and magnetic interference in the environment. And this button right here is a little speaker button. It's actually the meter noise button. If you turn it on, you can hear like a white noise sound. And this noise actually reacts to fluctuations in the meter. So I'll show you, so that way you have not only a visual, but an audible representation of the meter as well. So to demonstrate how the magnetometer sensor works and how it's going to detect magnetic energy fields, I have a magnet clip here. You can see the magnet right there. And then I'll just demonstrate how it works. And then you'll see, if I move this close to it,
One thing, I don't think that Twin Paranormal or anyone does this, but I'm just going to point it out. Ryan is usually the one holding the phone with this app, and he often has like rings and stuff on. So like it wouldn't be difficult to have a ring with a magnet in it, even a small magnet, and maybe kind of play with it, bring it back and forth to the phone to make it go off. And again, I don't think that Ryan or any of them do that, but I just want to point it out as it is an option for someone to use to try to make these apps go off more. Even on apps that are more reputable, they could even do this, have a magnet in a ring.
there's a text and speech mode. If you slide it left, it'll be in text mode, which is like similar to an Ovilus, which produces words and phrases. The meter, the fluctuations in the meter actually have a direct influence on word selection, and it has over 60,000 words and phrases built in. Plus, if you go into the settings here, you'll see there's a custom word list, and you can add your own words and phrases if you like.
So you can add your own words and phrases too. So you could add whatever you want to add for the location that you're going to. You know what I mean? Like it gives you opportunity for your narrative that you want to give. And especially channels like, for instance, Colin, who I covered in a previous video. Right now, he's really running with a narrative of like satanic cults, things like that. That seems to be almost in all of his videos, and almost all of them. And so he could add this to the dictionaries, the words for all this stuff, right? And have it pop up often so it matches his narrative. Like that's just an example of a channel who's been sticking with the same narrative constantly. Twin Paranormal, they do a lot of cryptid and skinwalker videos, so they could also add that stuff to their custom dictionary too.
You can turn on or off the reverb or echo and adjust the level of it. You can also set your pitch, or you can click randomize.
I just want to point out the randomize feature, because there's times where Twin Paranormal, they'll like their Apple whatever say something in a weird voice, and they'll be like, it never does that. They have the randomized features turned on. It probably doesn't do it as often, but it's not something supernatural. Like, they've turned on these randomized features. So I just want to point that out, because they do that a lot.
So sometimes it might be low pitch, high pitch, whatever. And there are voices. There's a human voice, robot voice, and whisper voice. Our text-to-speech system is a little different. We have actually 2 built-in text-to-speech systems, so we don't use like the native phone text-to-speech system. And I'll show you real quickly if I put it in text mode. Most likely.
See, the question is, and this is with all these devices, he's sitting in a place that probably isn't haunted. So, like, who's choosing those words? And what's to say that the location that he's at, or the magnet that he sticks, whatever, like, there's no way to say that this is a ghost, right? The apps will just eventually spit out words. It's how they work.
Like I said, the fluctuations of the meter have a direct influence on word selection.
Other side.
See, it would have been more impressive if he turned on the word feature to speak and it didn't speak. And then once he did the magnet, then it spoke. Like right there, it tells you that it's going to throw out random stuff anyway, just like all the apps and gadgets do.
Like I said, there are different voices, and there's also a test audio. So if you change the voice or anything, you can click this just to test what it sounds like. So that was robot. Here's whisper. I'll cue in for this one. Now, speech mode is something really different. It provides speech sounds for spirits to use, similar to like a ghost box or other apps, but it does it in a completely different way. There are no sound banks, radio, word lists. There's no pre-recorded audio of any kind. It's literally generating the speech sounds from within the app, and spirits can use these sounds to communicate. The same idea as sort of like a ghost box or some other ITC apps, just done in a completely different way. And so if I turn this on, I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. And there's a rate slider, so you can put it this way, it'll come faster, this way slower.
And that's the other thing too with this, like they could turn this on once in a while and have a creepy voice and then be like, oh my God, it never says that. Like this is kind of what they do with the apps and stuff. As well, the magnetometer thing, it's only fluctuating by 1. And why is it talking so much? Like the box right there is giving out tons of false positives.
The speech is the speech tab. You can change. Let's go to robot voice and let's turn off echo, turn reverb all the way up. Yeah, let's just try that.
That's just a little summary. It's like a 10-minute video and this guy talks a little bit slow. I'll probably speed up the video because of it too. I think the app may have changed. I don't know if it changed the way it looked, but it was for a long time that you could add your own words. I'm not sure if that app still allows it and Spirit Talker locked it down or the other way around. Like I said, I used to watch Twin Paranormal. Okay. They used to shout out this app maker all the time, and he would adjust the app based on what like their feedback was. They would actually do it like special for them. They had a really good relationship with this app maker. I remember them talking about him in their videos and stuff. I'm re-recording this because the first time I recorded it, I was kind of all over the place and I just want to get my thoughts a little bit straighter. So something that I've noticed for some time is that they keep pulling out a broken phone when they use the app, the Necrometer, Spirit Talker, or whatever. They mostly use Necrometer. Once in a while, they use Spirit Talker. But I thought it was weird because they've been using this broken phone for it's been like 2 years or something. I thought, isn't it a little strange? Like they make enough money on their YouTube channel to get a screen replaced or to get a new phone, or on, there's Apple Care because I think they're using iPhones, and Apple Care will do screen replacement stuff as well. So I thought it was really strange. And then I got to thinking, and this is my opinion, well, these apps, there's a few apps that people have said that if you don't update them, then you can add customized words and you can do more customization on them. So what if they had the app on a phone and they just always leave that phone on airplane mode, or they just don't have a SIM card and don't connect it to Wi-Fi ever, so it never updates. And then that way they can do whatever they want with an app. And even if it's just one phone out of the 4 or something that they have with them, they can use that to try to like push their narrative. So I went through a bunch of their videos, and I'm not going to watch all the videos to find all the instances of the broken phone, but in a good chunk of their videos, they show you I'm putting on airplane mode, and then they show you the phone. So I'm just going to play you a few clips to show you all the broken phone footage, and you can kind of decide, I guess, from there. And there's something else that I noticed. I'll show you that after these clips.
Airplane mode. Like I said, if you can, please use your words.
I'm pretty sure that this phone may have been broken around June or so, because this is the earliest one I could find. And in the next clip I have, they actually call the phone, so it's still like working and hooked up. The app was released in 2023 though, so it would make sense that the phone and everything be fine. And then probably a few months later, or into late 2023 or early 2024, then the app got locked down possibly. It's just a thought.
Right now, it is off of airplane mode. So no airplane mode. I have service on. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Everything is off in airplane mode. This makes it so there is no interference whatsoever.
Okay, I just noticed in this video, it's 2 different phones. One has the leather cover that's usually on the broken phone, and the other one's just another broken phone without a cover.
I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Okay. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode.
Now, this one I found interesting because it's already in airplane mode, which is kind of my wonder and theory about this. And a lot of the other ones, they seem to not really show them turning, like sometimes they turn it on, sometimes they just like show it after it's turned on already. I think there's like a bit of sleight of hand stuff going on.
In airplane mode, just to make sure nothing interferes. I'm gonna take my jacket off.
And I can move that just for your sake of...
Also, I'll point out the other investigator that was with them on this one wasn't using a DR60. And on this one, we see the 2 broken phones that they have.
We put these devices in airplane mode, so we have 0 interference.
And this is why I think sometimes the cracks look different, because I think that they do have 2 broken phones.
Airplane mode. Airplane mode.
So now, November 2024, the phone looks like nice and brand new and fresh, right? But then February, it's broken again, right? And then the one I showed you in March, it was broken again. But if we look at some of the older ones, like June 2023, it looks like it's the same crack in that bottom corner. So wait, the June 2024 and February, like these look like they're the same cracks to me. March 2024, February 2025. It's the exact same crack. Yeah, this is broken exactly the same. They have to be using a broken phone that's not updating. Like that, this must be what they're doing. This has to be what they're doing. Why would you carry around a broken phone like that for 2 years that's this smashed, and you have the money to replace it? Like, you have the money to replace your phone and fix your phone. Not to mention, you're carrying around a brand new phone in other videos. You'll do one video, brand new phone, one video, cracked phone. And just to make it clear, I'm showing you the same crack across years of timeline, because you can't say, oh, well, they got it fixed and then it cracked again. It's the exact same crack. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. This is June 2024. Let me show you something.
First thing I'm gonna do, airplane mode. Doesn't really matter. We have 0 service.
First off, it was already in airplane mode before they started recording. Second off, it's actually kind of hard to see the cracks. And I thought that this phone was okay, which I feel like depending on the lighting and the angle, you don't see the cracks all the time on the phone. So we're not always seeing them on all the footage. But if we go forward a little bit, when the light comes off of the phone, you can see the cracks really well.
Service up here anyways.
You see how cracked that is? Look at all the cracks in there. And it's the same crack. It's the same. It's cracked down there. It's the same crack along there. It's the same phone. All right. And now I'm going to play you a clip where they're trying to explain to somebody why airplane mode protects them from an app. I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but like they're not making any sense. Let me play it for you and we'll discuss.
Crazy.
There is absolutely no way that could just
No.
fake something like that.
No.
Like,
Show
oh.
airplane mode. Go ahead and show airplane mode, dude. Nothing can interfere whatsoever
swipe, please?
with airplane mode.
It's not just that, though. The lady was telling us the story earlier about the lady in white.
What I'm trying to say, people sometimes say that there could be somebody listening in or whatever, but when you put it in airplane mode, there's no way anything like that could happen.
Yeah, nothing can happen like that because it cuts off.
So this
all
is
internet.
like, there's no cool.
Okay, so let me just make this clear really quick. When the phone is in airplane mode, you can still use the microphone and other features that don't require network connection. Like I said, these apps, I believe, are listening in. So they can still listen and they can still spit out words. And, you are using your special broken phone, which probably has your custom word list in it too. So this reasoning, and even just showing airplane mode all the time, it literally means nothing. It's not anything at all. If anything, for airplane mode, the most I could say is maybe turn it on so it doesn't interfere with a REM pod or something, or an EMF meter. But an EMF would still interfere. But maybe a REM pod, I don't know. All right, now just a reminder, and this is the best way I can go about this. So if y'all hate that I include this, then complain below. This broken phone, the usual one that he pulls out, is always in this leather case. When their home got broken into, Ryan's talking on his phone to somebody, because we never see him talk on the phone on their leather case. We just see him use it as a device. So here, there's no leather case on it. There's no case on it. Also, you can kind of see in this video right here, the phone's not broken that he's talking. Yeah, it's far away and we can't say for sure, but it doesn't look broken to me. So tell me, what do you guys think? I think my theory on them hanging onto a broken phone that never updates, I think they're doing that so they can add custom words. Even though it looks like from the website from Necrometer, the app still says that you can add custom words, but I heard that it was locked down. But the app costs money, and that's the only reason why I don't know for sure, because I'm not going to pay for it. I think that's the way that they can skirt around it. At the very least, Spirit Talker, it's either Spirit Talker or Necrometer that locked it down, and they use both, on the broken phone. So what I wanted to show you guys was just they're using these new watches. So let me just show you them. I can't figure out what they are. Here, I took a picture of it. I can't make it out. So I did a reverse Google image search and there's nothing. They get in touch with people who make gadgets and apps and stuff like that. I think this is a new gadget. I don't know if they have made it for themselves specifically or if they're using someone's gadget, but these wrist things started showing up.
Come and talk to us, please. Come and speak into these devices around our wrists. Maybe you can let us know who you are. Sarah, if you're around us, tell us why you're still here. I have no regrets. What does that mean? What do you mean?
I don't know where these devices came from, who made them. I don't know what's up with them. They have the money for these devices or whatever too. And they had the money to fix their phone too. That was broken forever. So it's just these little things that I'm just like, okay, hold on, wait. Now you're using devices that no one else is using. That's questionable, because what's to say that you don't just make them do what you want them to do for your narrative? But here's more of their watches. I'm trying to figure out where these watches are from, what they are.
Device going on? Our friend here, it's his first time, but in this case, it's ghost hunting. Can you let us know who you are?
Hi. First word, hi. Can you tell us who you are?
If only I could get a clear picture of this. We get these little moments, but it's too fuzzy to see what this name is. And they haven't put links for it in their video description. What does this say? It looks like the cheapy watches you can buy at AliExpress, these smart watches, right? But it's the software I'm curious about. Is it Spirit Talker? Is that what it says? Spirit Talker? Spirit Talker watch? It is Spirit Talker. Okay. Did they just buy a smartwatch and stick the app on it? Yeah, they did. Okay, so isn't Spirit Talker the one that you can add words to? Yeah, it was released in November. See, $232 a pop. They all have one of these watches. And Spirit Talker, you can add words to it. This is interesting. Okay, well, we finally found it. Just took a little while for me to see it. So interesting. All right, now let's just cover off a couple other oddball, talky word machines. To start, we're going to take a look at this video. I wasn't fully paying attention when I was first watching it, but I was going back to look at it, and then 2Ply Paranormal released a video about this particular investigation with Twin Paranormal. So it's the guy here with them is Sean Austin, who's a psychic medium from TV. And yeah, so I'm going to play you a little bit of 2Ply Paranormal's clips throughout because I just find him hilarious. Do go follow his channel and make sure that you subscribe to him and all that. And we're going to talk about this dumb app and device that this Sean Austin guy invented.
My name is Sean Austin. I am a demonologist, paranormal researcher, and medium, and this is actually my first time here at Pine Lawn with you, gentlemen.
Oh, no, not this guy. We got the Sean Austin with us today, ladies and gentlemen. We know he's 100% real. Facts.
And they're introducing this device, and it sounds weird the way that they introduce it. Let's take a look at the lead up, which is some EVP stuff that they're doing with this software.
I just heard the bad man's here.
Knows too much.
Whoa!
Knows too much.
Is it just me, or does the voice coming out of that device sound exactly like Sean's voice here? I'm assuming that is as designed, like to have his voice on the app or something to sell his image some more. Hopefully it's not just copying whatever voice that it hears. Also, let me play you another little clip from 2Ply.
I just heard the bad man's here.
Knows too much.
Whoa!
Knows too much.
See?
Okay,
That's...
real quick.
Oh, okay. Can you explain this?
Yes. This software right here is something, with a concept I came up with, is something brand new that's never...
Brand new. That's never been done before that he came up with. That's his. And that's an iPad, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is. That is an iPad with an app. That he designed.
Bless his heart.
Never been done before to try to communicate with spirits. This is using brand new, technological advanced AI text-to-speech open source to interpret EVPs in the audio in the environment, to interpret EVPs for us that are outside of human speech frequencies.
Technological advanced AI speech. You know, AI does a whole lot of stuff nowadays. You think AI plugs some stuff, some words, some feedback? Maybe it can take... What if there was an app that can take what you say into it and then give you a response back to what it's hearing?
That is correct.
Hey. I'm just saying.
That's Google Gemini. Okay. That's Google Gemini. Like, where are we at? This is their logo. He's just taken it and recolored it. Like, it's just... It's just AI. All this AI crap is going to actually make it easier to fake stuff, and it's going to give more false positives. This AI being introduced with paranormal investigations, it's not a good idea. It's not a smart idea. All this stuff is so fake. It's so fake, you know. Add on to this if you didn't catch on. You can just create apps. This is open source. All this AI stuff, for the most part, is open source. You can start for free. Here's the AI studio, and you're just creating an app, chatbot, whatever it is. Like, he's going to have different logic and algorithms and stuff like that. But he's just created an AI app. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing special. Again, there's absolutely no way to know that it's a ghost coming through this. We don't even know how to measure ghosts, but let alone thinking that they know how to use these tablets and everything else. And all he's done is create another dictionary device. Like, to be honest, just another dictionary app.
So right now when I'm speaking, it's canceling out my voice and only looking for disembodied voices that are scientifically impossible to be our voice.
Sure, Jan.
Now we can do a burst EVP right in a moment. Let's do it. In case we can get some sort of validation of what's coming.
I want to point out, we are going to cover it soon too. That looks like a DR60 that he pulled out. See the corner piece? Yeah, classic. Anyone who uses the DR60 knows that it creates false positives. So they are purposefully spending thousands to get one of these broken machines to be guaranteed some kind of results. So they know it's fake. Like they know what they're producing is fake. But this guy is also a medium. So already, like this guy already grifts and he knows what he's doing. He's an actor. He's a medium. He's on TV. This guy, he's a scammer. He's a grifter.
The bad man's there. That's exactly what I heard.
The bad man's there. Oh, that's pretty clear.
And now, if you notice, which is something my experience
Yeah, that's pretty clear, my ass. I don't hear shit.
is that the answer came before my question. And you want to know what happens? Because telepathically, they heard my thought before I asked the question on the audio. So in that case, in my opinion...
Oh my God. Ghosts can read minds now.
In a desperate attempt to fill 24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Did y'all know ghosts can read minds? Hey, if you're enjoying the video, comment, like, subscribe. Love you, booties.
The bad man's there. Oh, that's pretty clear.
Is that the answer came before my question. And you want to know what happens? Because telepathically, they heard my thought before I asked the question on the audio.
For real? They're telepathically reading our thoughts now. Guys, come on. This is ridiculous. Also, they have this other device, which they did use like a year ago. I have no idea what this device is. I don't know, but they're always pulling out gadgets. They're like friggin' Batman.
I'm Batman. Ability to use your words, whether it's one word or a whole sentence. If somebody can please approach my table, come and talk to me. You okay?
Yeah, my device just said we're outside watching. Remember he said that the Native American man is seen out there.
Oh.
And I will say, like, and maybe it's because I'm Canadian or something, and just the stuff I've known Indigenous people and just the stuff I've seen in the news. I'm really tired of seeing people do the Native American trope stuff, the skinwalker stuff, and all the other stuff. Like, it's inappropriate. It's just Hollywood. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad thing to encourage this kind of stuff as well. I just don't really agree with it. Unless you can confirm with an indigenous peoples, like the center and stuff, that like a location was whatever, don't do it. Just stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
And here's the thing, right, that gets me, because Colin does this too. They have all their phones doing talkie-talk apps, and they have these things on their wrist. Like, if you put out that many devices, you're going to get more words, and then that way you can film your video faster, and you have more footage to work with. All right, now let's hop into the DR60. See the DR60? Okay. They use DR60s. Like, they use devices that will give them results to make their movies. The DR60 has been debunked a whole lot of times. Essentially, the DR60 was recalled because it creates extra noise. Just correction, it wasn't recalled. That's a myth. They just stopped making it because it was made really crappy and poorly, and all future models were fixed. Essentially, it creates extra noise. Okay. And if you're holding it, if you're moving with it in your hand, it creates even more noise. I'm going to show you parts of Kenny's video here. I do suggest that you watch his whole video, and I think he did some articles and stuff on it as well. I think that he explains it the best. Kenny gets more technical with what's inside a machine, and he actually finds like the user manual and gets the voltage information and stuff. And I think this helps explain why the DR60 creates all the extra noise, and, you know, of course, why it's bad, but he explains it on a technical level. So let's take a look at some parts of his video here. First, let me just start off. We've seen this in last week's video too. Can we all just appreciate how excited and cute Kenny gets at explaining this stuff to everyone? Just all of us in the community, give him a hand. Make sure that you go follow him and everything too.
Testing the DR60. Are there any ghosts here? End of session.
Testing the DR60. Are there any ghosts here? End of session.
What a piece of crap. Cue the opening. Despite what some people think, it came out in 1998 and it retailed for $100. I'll put some links up in the screen here.
Despite the claims the Panasonic device is faulty, the recorder is still to this day a very respected tool in many ghost hunters' kit bags, demands. It sells for a lot. It sells for a lot because it gives you false positives.
Some ghost hunters, not all, but thankfully not all, but there's a good majority of ghost hunters, especially paracelebs, which are ghost hunters that are on TV, and they claim that it's the best device to communicate with ghosts, where you can ask questions and you get these growling, angry, that sound like words, especially when you prime them up on the screen, when you put the text on the screen so you know what you're supposed to be listening to.
What Kenny mentioned here is really important. A lot of people, whether it's ghost hunters on TV or if it's ghost hunters on YouTube, they will prime the audience, and they, I think, often has scripts or at least a plan going into a ghost hunt where they want to make their narrative work for their video. So they put words on the screen, and then people are amazed because they think they hear it, but it's not. It's sort of like pareidolia. And if you present words and you think that you're going to hear it, but it's not actually happening.
Nowadays, they are going for $1,000 all the way up to $3, $4, $5,000.
This was made 2 years ago, and they're going for $3,000 and $5,000. Wow. Holy crap.
Some of the recordings that I have with this, it actually sounds like someone's talking in the background. Is it? No.
I'm obviously skipping through parts of this video, but Kenny, he goes to some other locations to record as well, just so no one says, oh, well, that location must be haunted. Like he's trying to do different locations to test properly.
All right, so now I'm home, and there's never been any reported activity here. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to see what happens when we record with this. Are there any ghosts here?
Are there any ghosts here?
No matter where I go, 36 recordings I have on here, you can see on the front here, all of the same thing in different spots. This is a pattern, and it doesn't mean that a place is haunted. It means there's something going on with this right here.
Yeah, and this is how you properly test things for anyone who's unsure. You see if you can repeat it. If you can repeat it every time, it's nothing paranormal. It's debunked.
So let's get into some of the science behind some of this stuff. First thing I want to establish is just the basic hearing range. And I mean, you can look this up. It's not a big deal, but the average human can hear sound frequencies from 20,000 hertz to 20,000 hertz. What kind of frequency response does this thing have? What can it record? What can it produce? This is not a high quality recorder. It was never meant to be. It was meant to be a dictaphone. That's it. So there are two specifications that we really have to look at when we're looking at the quality of the audio coming from devices like this. And the two things are frequency response and sampling rate. So frequency response, basically, as it says on the screen here, describes the range of frequencies or musical tones a component can reproduce. So the other specification that we have to look for is sample rate. You can see here that it says sample rate is the number of samples of audio carried per second, measured in hertz or kilohertz. For example, 44,100 samples per second can be expressed as either 44.100 hertz or 44.1 kilohertz.
44.1 kilohertz is standard for CD. For example, right now I am recording in 48 kilohertz.
The sample rate determines the maximum audio frequency that can be reproduced. Theoretically, the maximum frequency that can be represented is half the sample rate, known as the Nyquist frequency. Look that up. It's a pretty cool thing. So in simple terms, if you want to reproduce a frequency just like we hear it, then you have to record the frequency at twice the frequency. If you're trying to record something, a sound at 10,000 hertz, you want to record it at least 20,000 hertz. That's how many samples you have to take. 20,000 samples per second in order to record a frequency of 10,000 hertz. These two, sample rate and frequency response, which we just talked about, are linked. And we know that if we have a sample rate, we know the highest frequency that it can reproduce. And when it comes to the DR60, this guy, that was a big problem at first because we didn't know. The manual doesn't list the specifications. It doesn't list the frequency response. It doesn't list the sample rate, and we didn't know. It was only later models that show up, like the model that I have, this guy, the QR80. This was released 1 year after the DR60, the owner's manual for this did list the frequency response. And that listed, which you'll see here, is 450 to 5 kilohertz.
That's really interesting that it didn't have it on it. That's interesting.
So when we look at what's listed for a sample rate of 11,025 hertz, it says gives very poor sound quality. When we get down to 8,000 hertz sample rate, it says it has less bandwidth than modern telephone systems. 8 kilohertz sample rate is thus not suitable for any serious recording task. I didn't think the numbers could be used from this one, the more modern one, to the older one. I reached out to Panasonic, and actually I got this, which tells me basically they didn't have any records. Panasonic didn't have any records of any of these recorders. And I talked to Mitch Silverstein, which is a good friend of mine, and we were talking about it, and he was actually able to locate a service manual for the original DR60, and it listed sample rate. I had official documentation saying that the sample rate was 6 kilohertz. So that's below the 10 kilohertz that we had on the newer model. So that's even worse. That's so bad, because when you think about it, now that's 6 kilohertz sample rate is only allowing it to reproduce frequencies up to 3,000 hertz, so 3 kilohertz. And to put that in perspective, the telephone system has a frequency response of 300 hertz to 3,400 hertz, which translates to a sample rate of 6.8 kilohertz. So the old phone system, you guys remember this? Hello? That means that the old phone system had better frequency response, could produce better sound quality than this. So many people think this is a great recorder, and it's actually a piece of shit. And that's why it's not sold anymore. It just didn't do good. A year later, they put out a new model and got rid of this. They just didn't put this in. There was no recall. There was rumors about recalls, and because Panasonic knew it was picking up spirit voices. Seriously, that was a thing. That didn't happen.
Okay, so he confirmed that it was a myth that it was recalled. I just heard that it was recalled because it was broken. Nothing about spirit voices, just that it was broken.
All right, so we have established that this is a very poor quality recorder. But why are we getting these voices? Why are we hearing growling noises? Where are they coming from? Where are these noises coming from? I came across a gentleman named Dr. John P. Costella, put out this amazing analysis of the DR60. He really went into it. He is a very smart guy. He's a data scientist, works in DC. He has a bachelor's in electronic engineering, graduated top of his class. He's got a PhD in theoretical particle physics. Smart. And he's done a lot of work. There's a lot. If you look on his LinkedIn page, the guy's smart. He knows what he's talking about himself. But he believed that there were 4 things that could possibly be going on here.
All right, for this guy's hypothesis, we're looking at possibilities. The first possibility, number 1, is that the software has bugs in it, resulting in sounds being made up. Number 2, that it is not filtering out high frequency or ultrasonic sounds and things are being aliased. Number 3, the circuits are picking up electromagnetic interference. Number 4, there is paranormal phenomena and it's able to rewrite the bits and bytes. I mean, he threw that in there because that's what people think, right? I think it's number 2 and 3, to be honest, because it does sound like it's just a crappy recorder.
Some testing. He got some equipment. Let's see, because this is important too.
Pause if you want to read more about this. This is a list of all the equipment and the setup that he did for this test.
The only thing he couldn't get his hands on was a DR60 because they were running about $1,000. And basically what he found, when it's inputting sound, when sound is coming in through the microphone, it looks at it and says, okay, well, it compares the sound frequencies in 5 millisecond packets. It compares it to a data bank that it has, which it calls a code bank in the manual here. And it looks for a similar pattern, a similar frequency pattern. And I'll show it on screen. This is what it looks like. So you know you can follow along. And basically what it does is selects the most similar pattern and then stores that in its memory. And then when it's ready to play back, it retrieves it from the memory. It again matches it up to the code bank and looks at the code number that most closely matches it and then plays it out. It outputs it. The problem is that further along in the manual, when you read about recording, it saves everything to memory in 1-second blocks. So because it's voice activated, it might only record like a quarter of a second or half a second. But it can't save that as a quarter of a second or a half a second. It has to save it as a full second. So it adds on. There's signal that's placed there, which changes the pattern.
Yeah, including clicks, pops as recording starts and stops. Ah, interesting. Okay, that makes sense. This is really important that Kenny found out. Essentially, it's filling in missing information because it only records per second. And if we end a recording, if we stop talking at a half-second moment, it's just trying to add filler. So that can explain some of the nonsense that gets picked up.
Not only do we have extra data that doesn't belong there, but we also have a bad sample rate that is causing aliasing, which screws up the signal even more, and it's creating a different pattern so that when you play back, you're not hearing anywhere near the same sound. With that said, when you're using this recorder, you can only use it in voice activation mode. You can't turn it off. That's a big problem. That's a big problem because it's always starting and stopping, starting and stopping. So once you hit record, it'll start recording, but if there's no sound, it'll stop. But it depends on the microphone sensitivity. There's 5 levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, literally. That's what's in the settings. And when you're on sensitivity level 1 and 2, that's when it's the most active.
So people can have it on like really high sensitivity and it just picks up anything, and including its own gears probably.
But this is something we have to consider. Higher sensitivity levels like 3, 4, and 5. 3, it did occasionally, did the same thing, but 4 and 5, I didn't hear it at all. But that's the problem. The starting and stopping, when it's on this very high sensitivity, it's recording these fraction of a second spaces where there's really no noise being stored in memory. It's stitching together with other sounds. It's stitching all of these little clips together, and then it's saving it in the memory as a pattern. And then when it outputs, it looks at that pattern again and puts out a signal, an audio signal that matches a pattern in its code bank, which turns out to be these growling noises. And this is something that we can repeat. We can repeat it over and over again.
Yeah, so essentially, it's just a total piece of crap.
From Dr. Casello, his analysis of it, but he was able to meet up with another ghost hunting team that had 2 of these together. And when they recorded together, he found that they recorded different growls. So both recorders right next to each other recording didn't record the same audio track. I mean, he concluded, basically, let me read this for you. The EVPs picked up by the DR60 are not measurements of a physical phenomenon, since any such physical phenomenon should affect 2 DR60s equally, whether through option 2 or option 3 above, or indeed any other physical explanation that I hadn't thought of.
This video from Kenny and this report he shows is a perfect example of how to actually run a scientific experiment to figure out if something is paranormal or if it can be recreated, thus making it normal. Or other things like the 2 recorders don't match. So if the same ghost is talking to them, they should match, right? This is the scientific method that people just don't seem to employ. Well, serious ghost hunters or paranormal investigators do, but YouTube ghost hunters, not really.
Telling me that it's an internal problem. It's a problem with the recorder itself. That the root cause is most likely the software controlling the voice activation system. Recall that the voice activation needs to stitch together stored pieces of audio, and that this storage of data occurs in 1-second chunks. If there was some software bug that doesn't properly handle this stitching, say by including random data from the rest of the second, recorder will take that random data and turn it into something that sounds somewhat like speech.
Yeah, so the root cause is the software controlling it. Yeah, so hopefully that explains it a little bit. I was speeding through the video because it's very long. So hopefully you understand it. I'll kind of like edit it a bit. Essentially, crappy microphone, crappy sample rate, not storing things correctly, so crappy software, and it just makes noise no matter what. Like you don't even have to touch it. It'll just make noise. So, and if you're holding it, it's going to be louder. It's also picking up the noise of hitting the start and stop button as well. So that is interesting too. Okay, so long story short, always look to see what recorder people are using. If they're using this little DR60 silver thing, which they all use, they're using it on purpose because it gives voices. Almost all the channels use this. Gross Adventures uses it. Zach Bagans. And part of my recording got cut off there, but just kind of finish this thought. All the YouTube channels use it as well as everyone on TV. The thing that I'm trying to get across to you is like they are buying it because they know it's broken and they know it will give them results that will show up on camera and be entertaining for their viewers. If a ghost hunter team, YouTube or TV, if they're buying this device on purpose, knowing that it's broken and knowing that it gives false positives, this just further adds on to, can we trust this ghost hunter group? I'm calling them ghost hunters too because they're not serious paranormal investigators. And I think seeing the way that they act, their blatant use of stuff that's broken, and just ways they manipulate stuff, like it is manipulative to their audience. But this video is already pretty long and I still have some more to go. So we're going to do part 3. Part 3 will finish everything off. Part 3 will still have Twin Paranormal in it because we haven't even gotten to the REM pod and stuff yet. That's a whole other beast as well. And some video editing notes too that I want to point out about them. But for now, let's pop into my outro. So let me know, what do you guys think? Do you think that YouTubers, for the most part, are faking it on purpose? I think that the TV shows definitely are, right? A lot of people have come forward and said that. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the YouTubers? Do you think that they knowingly do this stuff? Do you think that it's just ignorance? They don't understand how the devices work. They don't understand how to set them up properly. And going forward, are you going to even watch when you see these ghost hunters and see that they're setting up stuff correctly, testing it to make sure it's correct? Or are they even not showing you the setup at all? Because that could also be hiding something too. I think it's important for us to see them do the setup of these gadgets so we can see that it's been done properly, so there's no false positives that come out of it. But I think a lot of ghost hunters don't even understand how these gadgets work, so there's that. Anyway, that's my little rant on that, but leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. But yeah, otherwise I will see you guys in the premiere, then the next video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. All right, bye.